We would like to welcome Scott Simpson here with us today. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you.
You are running for the City Commission. Can you tell us why you decided to run?
I started attending the meetings a little over a year ago over some business issues, and basically saw so much that I thought maybe I could help contribute and get some things on track, mostly along the order of spending and some holes in the financial process that I felt like could be stopped up to save extra money for stuff we have to do.
Mm-hmm. So was there something particular that you had in mind?
Well, it's a number of things that I just see taking place on various meetings where equipment was overspent on.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a number of different issues and topics that I saw where I thought it was overspent. The engineering of amenities on the 13th Street redo with no intentions of being able to do them. They okayed some engineering that they agreed right when they voted to go and spend the money to engineer it that we probably couldn't afford it, but they spent the money anyway.
Oh, okay.
Things like that.
Oh, okay.
10,000 here, 7,000 there, enough to add up and probably help with some things that we have going on that we really need to deal with.
What would you say is something that really needs to be dealt with?
Well, we've got a number of things coming up that have to be dealt with. The sewer treatment plant's a big hit. Mm-hmm. Financially. We've got fire departments interested in some wage upgrade. You know, there's just enough things we have that really need attended to that I think we need to really pay attention to where waste is taking place.
Okay. What experiences do you have that would benefit you?
I've been self-employed since 1987. I currently have 8 employees, so I've been dealing with the have-tos. I've learned to prioritize what we can afford and what we really can't afford, and I think there's too much scenario goes on where if we have $10,000 in our pocket, oh, we can afford a $2,500 hot tub. But indeed, when you have a $15,000 roof that needs replaced, you don't buy the hot tub.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How will you make decisions?
I am working overtime to try and get a group together to get more feedback from just general citizens. Ultimately, I think the responsibility of the commission is to adhere to what the general population wants more so than what they think is right. If there's a disagreement there, or the general population doesn't understand and we feel like it's a have to, then it's our job to make them understand, because basically it's 1 + 2 needs to equal 3, and it should be able to be explained to where everybody understands when we have to spend things on something that maybe we're not excited about, but it has to be done, then that's their job to convey that to the general public so everybody's comfortable and feels like they're represented.
Okay. If elected, what would you like to accomplish?
I would like to see spending curtailed, and I'd like to see a program, wasteful spending. I understand it costs money to run anything. I would like to see some improvements in working towards getting more commerce, more business into our area. Small business being the bigger focus, because I think the net is better all the way around for whether it's employees, business owners, or the city itself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the city's recently been discussing the Strong Towns philosophy. What do you think of that?
So far as I can see, I'm a strong advocate for the Strong Towns philosophy. I've been pushing it in every direction. I've been trying to get people educated on what it's about, and it's really about making better use of our infrastructure that we have, instead of constantly thinking we need to build more, and then wake up one day and we can't afford to maintain it.
Exactly. What is your vision for the city?
My vision for the city is steady growth based on job availability, affordable housing availability, and to keep our cost of living such that it doesn't become unattractive. I know a number of people that have chose to move out of the city limits mostly because of the cost of living in it has continued to rise.
And that leads us to a related issue. There are complaints about mid-priced single-family homes and a shortage of those. What are your thoughts on that issue?
Well, we're just going to have to, there's a number of things that come into play in my mind when you're talking about creating more affordable housing. We again need to look back at the strong towns philosophy and learn to use our space wisely and quit creating huge expanses of commercial space that don't generate enough money to even afford to maintain their own infrastructure that goes around the perimeter of it.
Okay. What are your thoughts on contributing to outside agencies such as the Arts Council and various other entities, like the Access Van and that type of thing?
Okay. I think most of those, I agree that we need to help keep those up and running. I think access is very important. I'm good with the Arts Council. I think we need to continue to keep our heritage alive. I think we need to be patriots when it comes up to those kinds of things and keep the American way and our all-American city, that heartbeat still pounding. However, I also see that we fund some things that I think the net and is not there, and some of those things need to be shut down. I'm particularly focused on the Sister City program. I cannot see, it's not a huge expensive program, but I have seen in more than a year's worth of meetings and work sessions the net of about a 2-minute slideshow that shows how we funded a vacation. I don't see any net. I think it's a complete waste of resources. Those kinds of little things, I would shut that down. I just would.
Okay. What do you think of the changing water use standards, R9 Ranch, and of course the water treatment plant?
I would have to do, that has not been the focus of what I've been looking at. We clearly need to do something to move towards water sustainability around here because we keep finding ourselves in drought situations. That seems to be the only viable alternative on the board. There may be some others, and I would be interested in honestly consorting with some of the people who drill wells. Those are the guys that know where the water is, and I don't know how much of that's been done. I just know that we own this property and we'd like to bring water up from it. And that, if that's our only alternative, then I think we're going to have to do something. However, this is another thing like the sewer treatment plant. If we're going to do it, we need to start setting funding aside now so it's not such a hit down the road. I see that we set, I can't see where we set 10 cents aside to do the sewer treatment plant. And after the meetings I've attended, it would seem to be that they've well known this was going to have to be done for more than a decade, and there's no funding set aside for it that I can find.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about yourself and hobbies and your employment, that type of thing.
Okay. I'm married to Denise Simpson. We have 4 kids between us. We've lived here since, or I've lived here since '85. My wife's lived here since her birth. I've owned and operated Best Radiator since 1987. It was a business that I moved here in '85 and started for another gentleman and then bought it out 2 years into it. So been doing business here for all that time. I'm kind of a motorsports guy, and so that's probably my hobby is motorsports, my family, and my business.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate you coming in.
No problem. Thanks for having me.